Okay, I'm live. Alright. Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect out there feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, which the world ignorantly calls God. Okay, that his true name is Yahweh. Ba'ashem means in the name of. Yahushai is the true name of the Son, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahushai. And once again, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. We're going to be speaking about be careful who you help. Right? Be careful who you help. Be careful who you call your friend. Be careful who you help and give your energy to, and you give your time to, and your this wisdom to, right? Because not everybody's meant to hear this wisdom. Not everybody's meant to be helped either. And first I have the book of Sirach 12:1. It says, if you do good, it says, know to whom you do it, and you will be thanked for your good deeds. Do good to the devout, and you will be repaid. If not by them, certainly by Yahweh. Okay? And you should be mainly, if you're going to be doing a lot of charitable acts, it should be amongst the brothers in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this ministry. You shouldn't be just paying random people because they put something on TikTok and they put some sob story and then they put their Cash App and their Zelle and you feel like you're obligated to help these people. No, you don't need to help these people.
There'll be a lot of people that claim to be Israelites and a part of the truth, and then, you feel for them, because some of us are more merciful than others, and, we give extra, and then next thing you know, they're like, Toda, Yah, Ak, and you're like, the fuck, like, you're not even a part of the same doctrine, and most of these people, man, y'all people just like take advantage. I'm sorry.
It's like I'll look at an example. There was this one guy who at the certain time of every month, this dude would come back and he would ask for money, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna just give you money, because I was giving him some alms, but at one point, right, I wasn't gonna what's it called? I'm like, okay, maybe you can help me with some work or something. And the dude, he wouldn't even do the work. And then he would ask for money right after.
Yeah, he wouldn't do the work. He would cut corners, and he would just do the bare fucking minimum.
And the thing is, he would do the work, but it wasn't even the right way. So he was just doing it. And then he was making it seem like you had to pay him because, he wasn't even doing it the right way. And then I felt, I felt some sort of way, or I still need to pay this guy because, and you get kind of caught up in this trap. When meanwhile, these people are just finessers, they're scammers.
And then they'll do the whole hey, may Yahweh bless you, and then they'll go back to using Yah or the Yahuwah right after, and then you correct them, and then they keep doing it, and then we dealt with a lot of situations, but I got this precept and. You brought it out, but I want to bring it out in the GNC.
Mm-hmm.
Sirach 12, when you do a good deed, make sure you know who is benefiting from it. Then, what you will do will not be wasted. You will be repaid for any kindness you show to a devout person. If he doesn't repay you, the Most High will. No good ever comes to a person who gives comfort to the wicked. It is not a righteous act. Give to religious people, but don't help sinners. Do good to humble people, but don't give anything to those who are not devout. Don't give them food, or they will use your kindness against you. Every good thing you do for such people will bring you twice as much trouble in return. The Most High himself hates sinners.
Can I say something?
Can I just finish this?
Yeah.
And he will punish them. Give to good people, but do not help sinners.
I gotta start writing things down, because sometimes I have precepts I want to write down, and then you kind of forget them, but Lord willing, they come back. But I wanted to say something. First of all, if you read back to the precept you brought out, know to whom you did it to, right? The precept, the first one. You can't just be helping these random people, because I remember this one dude asked me for money. I'm like, for what? And he's like, oh, my friend needs some money. I'm like, no, like, I'm not fucking giving you no money. And like, the thing is, like, a lot of these people, they have, what's it called? Like, I was like, no, bro, like, go somewhere else. Like, but like, why do, like, a lot of the time they're using this money. You don't know where it's going to. They could be buying fucking drugs. They could be using it for some, mischievous deed, trying to scam people, right? You don't know what, you're paying these people for, you're helping them for.
Ecclesiastes 6 and 7. If thou wouldest get a friend,
I had that.
prove him first and be not hasty to credit him. So prove this guy first. That's what's called with vetting. And when you first meet somebody, that might be cool. You might resonate with them in the spirit, but you gotta vet them. You gotta prove them. You gotta, see who they are, because you don't know who they really are behind closed doors. You don't know how they could be behaving, or they're doing something completely contrary to what the scriptures say. And listen, we go off. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is that these people are just completely bugged out, and then they might appear to be on the same doctrine as you, but then they bring out some bugged out shit. You got to be very careful, who you deal with online, because there's a lot of these Israelites online where, they're not all together, but you got to prove them first.
Hey, you can go back to that one precept about something about you give them food. Can you do that one you just brought out?
Do good. This is verse 5, verse 12 and 5 of the book of Sirach. Do good to humble people, but don't give anything to those who are not devout. Don't give them food, or they will use your kindness against you. That
reminds me, because you'll have some people, you'll let them in your house. You'll get them food. They might ask to go to a grocery store. And then one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, these people don't even want to work anymore. They're asking for fucking, chocolate bars and ice cream and smoothies. And this fucking total leads up to like $200 fucking bucks. And you're like, are you going to pay for this? And then they don't even, they try to change the subject. Now, it's one thing, it's one thing, if you're going to tell somebody, you're going to pay them back, right? Just be sincere about it. I'm saying,
we were dealing with, man, he was, you work with him. He's like, yo, can you go get me food? The Costco membership. He's an Edomite, man. And I bring him out many times. I pray the Lord destroys you if you're watching, LG. I pray the Lord absolutely annihilates you, because you're the most grimiest piece of shit. But to put an example, you're watching, you punk. This devil, can you go to the store with me? I was like, okay, cool. Go to the store, get him his stuff. Yeah, I'll pay you back. Didn't pay me back.
And
let me finish.
Yeah. I'm gonna just.
Second, third, fourth time comes along, fifth time comes along. I'm realizing this guy is fucking taking me for a fiddle, taking advantage of me. I was like, I'm not paying for your shit.
Asking for like chocolate bars, like he would want you to go back to the store, like.
Can you go back? Leave the store already in the cars. If you go back, I want this special yogurt. Doesn't even fucking pay you back for it. The Lord sees these things. And
then when he realized you didn't have food for him, he would try to intentionally piss you off or make you mad by doing some stupid shit, or throwing things around, acting like a complete fucking baby.
The guy acts all righteous. There's a popular Instagram account, thinks he's like the big shot. You're a loser. You're a loser, and the Lord's not dealing with these people that they see somebody that has a charitable heart. They see somebody that's sincere and that wants to do good for the body, and they take advantage of them. Lord, He sees the intentions of these individuals and think, you know what? Let me play this guy.
At first, we thought, the brothers and I thought this guy could be an Israelite, but then, at first we thought the brothers and I thought this guy could be an Israelite, but with over time we saw the fruits that this guy created, and he brought forth, or the fruits he basically brought forth, and he brought nothing forth but basically corrupt and evil fruit. Okay, and so that's why you have to be able to you have to know who you're doing good to, because some of these people are actually Edomites, and you have to discern their spirit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you know someone, a brother sincere, and he's doing the work of the Lord, and he's doing he's a part of this ministry, then by all means you can help those brothers out. But you can't be just helping out these random Cash App men crept in unawares. And I wanted to bring out another thing. Can I just look this up real quick? If you don't mind.
Oh, pause your phone.
Yeah, Acts chapter 5 and verses 1. It says, "But there was a certain man named Ananias who with his wife Sapphira sold some property. He brought part of them money to the apostles, claiming it was the full amount. With his wife's consent, he kept the rest. Then Peter said, 'Ananias, why have you let Satan fill your heart? You lied to the Holy Spirit and kept some of the money for yourself. The property was yours to sell or not to sell as you wished. And after selling it, the money was also yours to give away. And how could you do a thing like this? You weren't lying to us, but to the Most High, Yahweh.' It says, as soon as Ananias heard these words, he fell to the floor and died. Everyone who heard about it was terrified. And then also his wife ended up dying as well, because ultimately, right, if you're if you're doing something with your money and you're giving, if you're doing some sort of act and you're not being sincere about it, right, you're going to get judgment for that. You know what I'm saying? This basically, the guy was saying, they sold the land, and then, they claimed it was the full amount that they sold their property for, and they ended up basically, lying about it, right, to the apostles themselves, okay? And basically that was, judgment. So, that's on the other end of the spectrum. If someone's doing another thing, or they're saying, I'll pay you back, or, I'll pay this amount or whatever, or I paid you the full amount, or X, Y, and Z, right? You can get, judgment for that. You got to be careful with these people. They say with their words, because they could be hiding things too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I got a precept. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." So Satan's using these individuals, man, these grifting, conniving people to try to meddle their way into your life, to try to distract you, throw you off, get you around things that are trouble, get you involved with money. Hey, let's do this. Oh, you owe me this. Oh, this and that.
Or the same thing will apply to work. They say yeah, I did the job. Don't worry. But they were actually, or they said, I was investing money or whatever. But back in behind the closed doors, they were using that to fucking, spend it on drugs, or, using it for their filthy lucre's sake. You're gonna get judgment for that as well.
Like Genesis guys, using the money that they were getting to piss it off. Eventually, they got judgment. They got exposed. All right, it's a cautionary tale, man. Just don't believe every random Israelite that pops up. You don't even know if they're a part of the same doctrine as you. They're just people that are they just show up, and then they just start asking for money. The difference between a brother that's proven himself, that's in a season where he needs a little bit of help, okay, of course, help him out, be charitable. But these randoms that just come out of nowhere, these Israelites, these people out of the woodwork, you gotta be very careful. All right, help the body first and foremost. Because there's a lot of people in the body that need help. So yeah. You got anything?
Yeah, I got Jude 1 and 4. "For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of Yahweh into lasciviousness and denying the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai." Okay, so yeah, there's certain people they're basically just crept in unawares. They might not even care about doing the ministry of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, right? This ministry of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, but they actually just want to use the men of the Lord, right? They know what we have is something that you can't get what we have. You can't replace what we have, right? You can't get this. You can't buy what we have or sell what we have. This is given from the Lord. and they come in and they see that we have this ministry, and they want to take advantage of some of the men of the Lord, right? Because they know a lot of men amongst this ministry are merciful and charitable, and they've crept in unawares, just for a time period, not sincere, or they're just in the back door, just waiting to do some, basically slick, backstabbing type of shit. Okay, so you have to watch out for these people. Yep. You watch out for these different people crept in unawares, It could be people online, That same example we brought about, it was just a random dude on Instagram. He started off from an Instagram message, ended up making his way into people's houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't give these people an inch, and then eventually they might because they might take a mile. You have to really test and discern these people's spirits.
You try to talk to the woman that you're trying to deal with, or court, whatever the case might be.
Then they start talking to all your friends, trying to make your friends to turn on you, right? Which that's a completely different topic, right? And honestly, too, if you had friends that turned against you, right, for another person they barely even knew, right? Those are not your fucking friends, right?
We had that happen, man. But the Lord's gonna deal with them punks.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all we have to speak about, right? So with that, we're gonna give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to Lekdat there feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. Shalom.